Republicans, there has been no evidence, right, that we have strong evidence that we've seen that, Biden, the older Biden, meaning President Biden, was part of any of his business affairs or there's any wrongdoing on the part of the president. We haven't seen evidence of that. But yeah, I think the last thing they want is a trial of the president's son colliding with the election, the re-election of President Trump or President Biden.
Ooh.
The re-election campaign of President Biden when he is up against, the likely front runner is former President Trump.
Attorney General Merrick Garland has announced that President Biden's son, Hunter, will now be investigated by a special counsel with additional powers. Following the president's son being charged with 2 misdemeanor tax offences for allegedly not paying income taxes in 2017 and 2018. Well, Perry Stein is justice reporter at the Washington Post and joins me now. Perry, hello.
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
It's really good to talk to you. How significant a development is this?
Insofar as this case, it's a big development within the case. Just weeks ago, I was sitting in a Delaware courtroom where we thought that this case was going to come to a close. We thought that they had a proposed prosecutors, meaning federal prosecutors, the government prosecutors, and Hunter Biden's attorneys. They had a deal that they said they just wanted a judge to sign off on, which would have avoided trial and closed this case. But ultimately, the judge found holes in the deal and asked them to go back. And now the prosecutors have said, we couldn't reach a deal, and this will likely now go to trial. So I would say it's a pretty big deal.
How serious is this for Hunter Biden, given that a deal was in the offing and it collapsed? It's not clear exactly why, unless you can tell us something.
It sounds there were some troubles at the court hearing. We learned that some of the big troubles around this deal, where they still couldn't seem to agree, was immunity, meaning what future charges would signing this deal protect him from? Like, could government still go after him on different tax charges in this time period? And so they disagreed on that. So that may be a good reason why it fell apart. That could be a good guess there. But yeah, for Hunter Biden, this has been, for his family, it has been, I know Biden has said it's been a big, turmoil for them, and it doesn't look like it's going to end now.
What is the issue with Hunter Biden? I'm sure his character has been investigated in depth by lots of the major news organizations. Who is he? What kind of character is he? Why is he always getting into trouble?
Well, I can't speak to his character. I don't know him personally. Obviously, this has become Republican fodder. So, this has been a long-running investigation that has, been put in the political spotlight. But at the heart of these charges are failure to pay taxes and a gun charge, which was that he said on a form that he wasn't doing drugs when he bought this gun, but in fact he actually was. Now, when you talk about character, I can't speak to his character, but we know that Hunter Biden has, and his family has said that, he was someone who struggled with drug addiction. He had gone through a lot of hardship and struggled with drug addiction, and this is what came of it. And now he's sober and he wants to make amends for his past mistakes. Plead guilty to these 2 tax charges and sign a diversion agreement on the gun charge.
You say that, the Republicans have been making hay with this. The White House has responded to the allegations that they have dug up over the years that Joe Biden has participated in his son's business affairs in the Ukraine and elsewhere as insane. But how much could they play in the forthcoming presidential election campaign?
Yeah, I don't know. Now, look, Republicans, there has been no evidence, right, that we have strong evidence that we've seen that, Biden, the older Biden, meaning President Biden, was part of any of his business affairs or there's any wrongdoing on the part of the president. We haven't seen evidence of that. But yeah, I think the last thing they want is a trial of the president's son colliding with the election, the re-election of President Trump or President Biden.
Ooh.
The re-election campaign of President Biden when he is up against, the likely front runner is former President Trump.
But at the same time, doesn't that assist Mr. Biden pretty powerfully, as in Mr. Biden Sr., when he is accused by the Republicans and by Donald Trump of weaponizing the office of the Attorney General because of federal charges laid against Mr. Trump? This could work well, in a roundabout way, for Mr. Biden.
Yeah, I see your point in theory. I see your point. I don't know how it's going to play out. We know that, Congress and Trump in these elections have wielded the Justice Department and what they view of the investigations however they want it. So I don't know that it's going to follow along the lines as you say. But perhaps as you make it.
Yeah, he might just be able to say, well, there you go, separation of powers. Not like when you were president, when Bill Barr was your attack dog, as Attorney General. I just thought that'd be a pretty obvious line of defense, or indeed attack, for the Democrats. But who knows? Let's wait and see. Perry Stein, thank you very much indeed. And Perry is justice reporter at the Washington Post.